Hello ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between, and none of the above, welcome back to We Love Your Deck. For today's archetypal analysis, we'll be going over Infect decks. Infect as a mechanic was originally released in Scars of Mirrodin. When a creature with Infect deals damage to a creature, it deals that damage to them in the form of -1/-1 counters and to players in the form of poison counters, and those poison counters will be how we win the game, as 10 poison counters will cause them to lose the game. Infect is primarily in green and black, however, with it being almost exclusively tied to the Phyrexian creature type, it is in all colors. Infect has two partnered mechanics: Corrupted, which will get stronger if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, and, to a lesser extent, Proliferate, which will work to create additional counters of any kind. Notable commanders for Infect would be Ixhel, Scion of Atraxa, who, on top of putting 2 poison counters on an opponent when they deal damage to them, will also steal cards off the top of an opponent's library when they have 3 or more poison counters. Then there's Finn, the Fang Bearer, who has your creatures with Death Touch deal damage to an opponent, which will give that opponent 2 poison counters. And also Skithiryx, the Blight Dragon, which is great as both a Voltron and Infect commander, being able to hit an opponent for 4 Infect almost immediately. Now that we have our commander, we're going to need more ways to put plenty of counters onto our opponents, like with Bloated Contaminator, who, on top of having Toxic 1, will proliferate when it deals damage to an opponent. Or Venerated Rot Priest, who, when your creatures are targeted by a spell, will put a poison counter on an opponent. Even our card draw puts poison counters on players. Like Infectious Inquiry, it draws you 2 cards, has you lose 2 lives, and then each opponent gets a poison counter. Now that we've started stacking up poison counters on our opponents, we need some ways to capitalize on them through the corrupted mechanic, like Skrelvi's Hive, which will give your creatures with Toxic Life Link as well. Or Wormquake, which makes a Phyrexian worm token, and then for each opponent with 3 or more poison counters, it will make you another token. Or even Geth's Summons will reanimate a creature from your graveyard and then from each opponent as well if they have 3 or more poison counters. And that sums up the Infect archetype fairly well, so we're going to end it there. Since you got this far, why not give me a follow? And as always, I'll catch you on the flip side, Planeswalkers. And remember, be good to each other.